So we're here with Mike Zullas. Mike, of course, I know you, but there may be somebody out there that doesn't. You're longtimely active in the town of Milton. You served in the Warren Committee. You're former chair of the school committee, and you're currently the chair of the select board, and also a longtime town meeting member. So with that, no, and in fact, how many children do you have, Mike?
Two daughters. My wife and I have two daughters, age 13 and 15.
Ah, terrific.
And I do want to acknowledge that you were the one who got me involved by appointing me to the warrant committee those many years ago. So.
Well, it was a great appointment. So Mike, with that sort of background and involvement in the town, tell me, why are you voting yes on February 13th?
Yeah, thank you, Brian. So I'm voting yes because we need to vote yes in order to comply with the law and to keep in place the zoning protections that we have in the zoning plan. Brian, the consequences of voting no would be very damaging to the town. We'd face lawsuits from the AG and others. We would have our zoning be subject to the control of some judge or special master. Our funding from the state would go down. Our costs would go up, and it would be a bad result for our town, for our residents, and particularly for our taxpayers.
And that's clearly a negative impact that we want to make sure people do know. And frankly, there are some people that feel that they could, see if we tweak this a little bit. If we vote yes, we have the opportunity to tweak that. Isn't that correct?
Absolutely. Any the planning board or the select board or anybody or citizens for that matter could bring amendments that could be heard at future town meetings to make any changes to it that they wanted to. But if we vote no, we won't have anything to amend. We'll have nothing in place. We won't be in compliance with the law, and we'll suffer all the consequences that I mentioned before.
Important points, Mike, and thank you for sharing them with us, and look forward to you participating on February 13th.
Thank you, Brian. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Hey, so I'm here with Chris Hart. Chris, I've certainly known you for a while around town. Chris, you're a town meeting member.
That's right.
Airplane Noise Advisory Committee.
That's right.
And Equity and Justice for All committee member.
That's right.
So you have a really diverse perspective here in town. So tell me, why are you voting yes on February 13th?
Well, I think that we have to take very seriously the idea of legal compliance and commensurate with my view of the rule of law. I think we all view ourselves as taking the rule of law very seriously. We enforce our own laws here in town. We normally are very adept and happy to, or at least not happy to, at the very least, willing to obey state laws. And there's no difference here. Not only are there consequences if we don't, but I think that when I hear people worry about what they might consider as the flaws or gaps in the current article, and they want to change it, I understand that, but a no vote will not give them the opportunity to change it. In fact, we might be barred for 2 years from doing anything with the new bylaw. It's only a yes vote. It's only a yes vote that lets us keep control, and I think it's a really critical thing for people to understand.
Yeah, and certainly the fact that you are a lawyer and have that sort of legal perspective is important for so many of us that are not.
Yeah, well, I appreciate. I wish my wife agreed, but the truth is, I do take it very seriously, and I litigate a lot. And I litigate a lot of issues that are before the town right now, and so I don't know if I have a unique perspective, but I have a fairly detailed perspective of the authority of the state to pass this law, the authority of the state to enforce the law, and what's at stake if we don't comply.
Well, Chris, great points, good perspective. Anything else that you think people should think about on this important vote?
I just hope that they come out on February 13th to vote, and they vote with the best interests of the town in mind.
Terrific. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Brian.
Okay, so we're here with Rick Neely, and certainly, Rick, I know, and many do, but some might not know, that you're one of the more involved people in the town, former chair of the Warren Committee,
Yes.
former chair of the School Committee, and former chair of the Select Board, and the Government Study Committee. A lot of, and certainly many, many years at town meeting. So kind of with that background and perspective, Rick, why are you voting yes on February 13th?
Well, the reason I'm voting yes is because as chair of those committees and boards, we were compelled to comply with state laws, and that could be education laws, municipal finance laws, and we didn't have a choice to choose which ones we wanted to comply with. We were obliged by state law to follow those rules and laws, and I think that's something we need to live with and comply with. So you don't just pick and choose, and even if whether you agree with these laws or not. So, and I also don't want to have a judge or a administrative state officer that comes in and revamps or chooses the zoning for Milton.
No, excellent points, and again, I think especially your perspective as serving so long on the select board, you would see that probably more than most people. So yeah, terrific, Rick, your valuable information for the town, and I would just add, if anyone wants a good perspective on what we should do here in the town of Milton, Rick Neely is one of the guys I would ask.
Thank you, Ryan.